Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. Chip is otherwise preoccupied.
Wrangling my dog.
What's going on? Well, tell you what's going on. Today is XRP day. No, actually, today's crypto day. Today is all crypto day.
Every day's all crypto day.
Every day is all crypto
Let's be realistic.
day. Chip, XRP haters, you know what? The one thing they have in common, they love to hate. And we got nothing else to say about that. And how about this? How about this DAO that spent $3 million for a $25,000 book? We're gonna talk a little bit about that because that kind of put the funny back in funny. But
the fun back in funny.
The fun. That's what I meant to say.
Right.
The fun back in funny. So anyhow, Chip, we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff going on in the crypto space. We might even bring up some commentary on last night's show with Eleanor Tarrant and get into some of that stuff too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome to On the Chain.
And in other news.
Well, Jeff, this was something we probably would have talked about yesterday, but we didn't get to it yesterday because we had Eleanor on and she was phenomenal. What tremendous insights. If you guys haven't seen the show, you can go and watch it, but it was fantastic. But Matt Hamilton put this out, actually Binance completed the wXRP integration and opens deposits. So that's wrapped XRP. Matt Hamilton says, whilst the fastest and cheapest way to move XRP and other cryptocurrencies is on the XRP ledger, some people want to hold or use XRP in the Ethereum ecosystem. With wrapped XRP, now the support from Binance, you have the option to do that as well. So what do you think about that,
What's
Jeff?
the big story about that? Why are we wrapping the XRP?
And because if you want to use
it on Ethereum.
Correct. I mean, well, it's still an option. I mean, the thing is, I see this more as an option for people who are maybe into the Ethereum ecosystem and would prefer to, if they wanted XRP, or had XRP, they might want to wrap it and use it in there. I could see that being a thing.
Right.
Jay asked if will it be slow and costly as Ethereum?
I was just thinking that.
Right, probably.
Brought that up. I'm thinking, is it going to be expensive? Is it going to be slow? Does it bring any actual benefit? What does it do? Let's see.
Well, Flare Community said this this functionality will become available for the Songbird and Flare network in the near future as wXRP. The difference will be the asset will be fully collateralized with value, like for Songbird token or Flare, locked up in smart contracts and not reliant on a third-party custodian. So there's a big benefit right there.
That's a Flare, not of the wrapped XRP going on to Ethereum.
Right, but you could potentially have Ethereum interoperable with Flare, and then you could earn the rewards because you have a smart contract that could trigger something on Flare too. So in other words, you have your regular fee that you would be able to collect, but you would also be able to collect an additional fee. So that's always a possibility too. And Petite Frapto Bitney said F assets are still 2025. I'd say closer to Q1.
Closer to 2030.
Yeah. There you go. And there you have it, Jeff. There you have it.
There you have it. And that is what we've got for tonight.
That's it. Everybody have a good night. Drive safe. No, just kidding. Come on, Jeff. That's not all. We have plenty to talk about tonight. My gosh.
We might even cover it. Might even review, might even discuss.
It's possible.
But
hey, while we're
on a vague,
can we stay on that Flare? Can we stay on that Flare sort of groove that we're on there?
The Flare groove.
Well, I like this. This was put out by Flare Community. I like this a lot. I like it a lot, Jeff. But I wanted to put this out there because it brings up a lot of good points. But a Songbird, even though relatively young, is already an extremely impressive network. But what you're currently seeing is just a small fraction of its true potential. What's coming will blow your mind. And that's true, Jeff, because we're only seeing a little tiny bit of this. And people are like, well, yeah, I mean, there's SFIN, and people are talking about, what do you call it? Those what are those things, connectors, whatever. I don't know. I have mine staked over there too. Different things you can do with it, but that's just barely scratching the surface of it. And the party really starts when Flare Networks unleashes the power of the state connector. That's what I was trying to get at. Followed by the F asset system. And we haven't even gotten into there yet. All we're doing is the delegation right now. That's pretty much it. You can pick who you want to delegate it, split it 50-50 and delegate, and you get rewards in Songbird, or there's some ways you can stake it on Flare Finance, some other things going on. The state connector enables it, right? The state connector enables proving any real world event to any contract on Songbird/Flare. Due in Q1, the state connector has many use cases. The one which stands out the most to me is the ability to gather transaction data from any blockchain. This will pave the way for the F asset system, a protocol which will revolutionize the blockchain space.
Yeah, that's it's interesting when you start using these terms of revolutionize and all these other great points that are being brought up, and it is interesting, as we progress into this idea of staking and wrapping assets. There's a lot that could happen here.
There's a lot that can happen, and he goes on to say the F asset system is going to allow integrated assets to be effectively brought over into the Songbird/Flare network in a trustless manner. This enables a common platform to utilize multiple native assets on a single decentralized network, and that right there is big. So this
so Chip, thinking about this idea though, going back to the wrapped XRP and being able to easily
more easily. Yes.
I don't think easierly.
Let's put that on the OTC common phrases.
I don't think it's a word, but it's when you're wrapping the XRP, things become easierly.
They become something. I mean, my gosh, they certainly become.
That's what happens. But the point being that you wrap an XRP, and you can seamlessly move it over to the other network. And someone had brought that up. How difficult it can be, where you have to convert your XRP over to another asset in order to then move it over to that platform. So now, if you can wrap your XRP easy, and then move it over to Binance or move it over to wherever it needs to go to then acquire whatever you're going to do, we're simplifying the process instead of having to make multiple transactions. Now, if that wrapped XRP is cheaply transacted, my biggest concern, Chip, is moving and wrapping it as an ERC20 in any shape or form. And now all of a sudden, now you're stuck. Right?
That's a good point.
It's still going to be expensive.
But again, I get it's a use case. Doesn't mean if you want to do it. But again, I think it's more for people who hold like Bitcoin or Ethereum, or especially people that own Ethereum. They maybe along the way they picked up XRP. But again, if you want to be able to use it on that network, you can wrap it versus, like you said, you lose so much time and potentially value when you convert it. It can be just what he's getting at here is this whole idea of using, you have a common platform and you have multiple assets on one decentralized network, XRP, Litecoin, Doge, XLM, Algorand, right? And what makes it so special is that decentralized
wXRP easily a downgrade.
That easily is.
Easily. Norseman, see that new coin? Easily coin.
Easily. Easily.
That's good. Chaparelli is always nicerly.
Nicerly, that's right. That's right, Jeff. That's right.
Nicerly.
Frank XRP says it's hard to say XRP haters are wrong when they make all these millions in other coins and we got crushed. We're basically idealists at this point. You know what? You're bringing up a really good point, Frank. And we're going to have to usher you right out of the chat right now. I'm just kidding. I'm about to get you right out of here, man. That's bringing the whole thing down. It's like
a solid point.
That's a solid
ideally.
point. Yeah, they're making millions, and we're basically, you know, it's that's the XRP army, man. It's basically easier to lead. No, it's easier to lead. The Dumb and Dumber, where he's like, if you're the last man on earth, do whatever. So you're saying there's a chance. There's a possibility, Frank. That's
There's
the
a
whole
possibility.
point.
It's
So you're
out there.
saying there's a chance, right?
There's still a chance. If
there's
we're
still a
idealists,
chance.
where there's still a chance.
What did she say to him? If you're the last man on earth, I would be. So you're saying there's a chance. so there's a possibility that always exists. And what makes it so special, Jeff, is that the decentralized apps, these D apps running in the network, can aggregate liquidity from various chains. Okay, so that's something different, because usually liquidity is whatever chain it's on, right? It's on chain, whatever it is, Ethereum, whatever. But to be able to source liquidity from multiple chains, that's pretty cool. And for example, there could be a DEX trading F assets in a combination with either Songbird or Flare and all the other tokens issued on the network. And it may be a DeFi platform allowing users to begin earning a yield on assets, which currently lacks smart contract functionality. It may even be an NFT marketplace, which you can use, for example, XRP to buy NFTs and later sell them for algo.
So you can see complex.
Well, it's actually getting really good at this point. The possibilities are endless with the level of interoperability, because that's the key word right there, interoperability.
Interoperability. I think more people need to use that word. We need to see more projects using the interoperable, concept instead of the silos, which brings me, to this thought process as we start, really gaining more and more traction, more momentum into this crypto financial universe, as it's expanding. It's taken on new life, and seeing this type of functionality versus, 13 years ago, Bitcoin is what exactly? It's just it was going to replace banks. It was going to be a currency, and now it's gone.
Yeah, but that was anarchy, though. It was all about anarchy. Let's just burn it all to the ground. And again, it's like, okay. And Ripple took another. They said, look, banks aren't going away, but there's ways you can improve the processes.
Yeah, and that's almost like the epicenter. You think about, if was Ripple a true trendsetter at that point, where taking this concept and saying, hey, you know what, we got to work with the mainstream. We got to really focus in on the current financial institutions. It's not about crushing the financial institutions and replacing them straight out. We got to kind of gain the momentum, take advantage of business that exists, take advantage of consumer base, and slowly integrate into mainstream. And then all of a sudden you replace mainstream, because then all of a sudden it becomes mainstream.
So look at this, Jeff, though. This in itself is somewhat impressive. It says, with Songbird's total locked value recently reached 122 million plus, it's claimed 37th place in the network leaderboard. It's a test net, Jeff. It's not even the real deal. And again, there aren't even F assets. I mean, it's just like scratching the surface, and it's already at, 37th place. A mean feat, considering the network has just been functioning for less than 20 weeks. And on top of it, it's just a test net. It's a canary net. It's not even the real deal.
You got to love it.
And if you come over here,
a moment for a break here.
Go over to
Frank
DeFi
XRP.
Llama.
You know what would be great if we made some interoperable profit.
Interoperable profit. I'm not ruling it out, Frank. Frank's bringing it tonight, man. He's bringing it
tonight.
He's bringing it to these strong points. Interoperable profits, right? So
we could do with a little bit of that. If you want interoperable profits, then you need to get a Vincent Wilson.
Yeah, 20,000 XRP be life changing. Well, they didn't tell you what life, Jeff. It would be some life.
It did not tell us which life, but it would be life changing.
It would be life changing sometime in the future. But if you look at DeFi Llama here, look at the value.
There's be life changing down.
There's the value locked in right there, and you can kind of see what's going on there. And there's
Flare Farm. The Llama? What are we looking at here?
This is just this is the network right here. This is the
overview.
Llama? This is Songbird. DeFi Llama is on. It has all the DeFi project, but you see like Flare Farm. Look at the dominance. It's almost 75%. It's incredible. And that's the SFIN right there, which is very limited supply. Which, if you guys have been earning that, there's Flare X, which is the XFi, and then Flare Loans and SwapCat. And
you want to zoom into that so you can see the bottom portion of it.
There you go.
There we go.
So there's Flare Farm, which is the SFIN people have been earning, and that's really limited. I think it's 11 million maybe. Flare X, X5, Flare Loans, Swapcat.
Sweet.
So there you go. There you have it, Jeff.
It's starting to build. It's gonna start. They'll start seeing some movers.
Yeah, and it says the TLV could be attributed to Flare Finance's incredible suite of DeFi products, which is in the progress of expanding. One product which I believe will easily, you didn't even say that, but I put easily in there, Jeff, will easily be a catalyst for an increase of TLV on the network is Flare Wrap.
Here we go. What is it?
Go ahead.
What is Flare Wrap?
You gotta first drop the beat. Then I start rapping, Jeff. So you drop the beat, and then I start the rap. So that's not that rap. It's a different rap. So Flare Wrap, it's a non-custodial cross-chain asset bridge. It allows holders of tokens and other smart contract networks to bring their currencies to the Flare network trustlessly without a third-party middleman, for example, some centralized exchange. Additionally, it draws users of the Flare network to bridge Flare native tokens. So, that's where I was saying where the Ethereum would come in, because you could have a smart contract and then bring that over here. So I'm telling you, I think it's just so underestimated right now what's going to happen. This is going to be massive.
It's really is. I mean, I think we're entering this phase where, and more, focus is being brought to the DeFi space, to, exactly, the expansion of these new investment vehicles. And it's really, it's interesting from a perspective that last night with Eleanor on, she was talking about how, she had worked in Wall Street prior to, and you think about kind of old school money, old school processes, old school connections tied into the brick and mortar financial institutions, brick and mortar banks. There's a kind of a way of doing business over there. There's also an ebb and flow with the money, and they know the process. Now, all of a sudden with the DeFi and there's so much to learn, so many different ways, you look at it, just that bottom paragraph or sentence, you can expect the total locked value to increase on Songbird as the network matures and begins to unlock its true potential. I mean, imagine right now you're sitting over there in Wall Street and you're starting to see this new, baby asset class build up, and you're starting to see in some scenarios that you're getting left behind, because you're tied into your brick and mortar, and there's so much going on over here, so much to learn. And you're seeing, the retail class, just moving into all these investment vehicles and all these different opportunities. And we're, basically just seeing the beginning of it. And it's already like, it's amazing. It's amazingly potentially confusing, right? With all these different directions that one could go in to figure out, hey, you take advantage of the assets that you hold. And it's really, it's about building a what do you want to call it? Like a residual revenue, funnel of some sort, where you have X amount of dollars or assets or tokens out there, and you're able to just keep generating profit, keep generating living revenue, which is just man, it's incredible.
Really is. And it is funny because the BTC maxis kind of have shifted we've seen over the course of the last couple of shows that they've sort of shifted where they're coming from. They went from a complete Ripple and everything else. Now we're starting to see crypto, what's his name? We just played him the other night, Jeff. I don't know why you have it. Chico Crypto. He's like, hey, this has some long lasting effects, whether you like it or not. And so they're starting to really kind of change their tune on a little bit. I saw this one. Someone had commented on this, and I don't recall who, but of course, this is we asked Eleanor Terrett last night about Ben Armstrong, better known as Bitboy.
Your buddy.
Yeah. So, and again, this is a little clip we'll play, but it says the XRP lawsuit will be resolved. Okay, profits. And here's another. This is Rice TVX. He's a maxi, right? But let's put this on because let's listen to what he has to say. somewhat interesting here. Let's see.
I believe kind of like what Ben has said. I believe the case will be resolved very soon, and I believe that they knew what the results were going to be when they went into the door for the very first time and had their meeting. I believe that they knew what they were going to be doing. They were taking advantage because ultimately what this is going to be good for Ripple as a corporation. And it's going, once the SEC decision goes through, off to the races for XRP and the Ripple organization. I don't support it, but it is a good way for you to accumulate more Bitcoin. If you're just doing this to get more US dollars, I wouldn't encourage that. Not at all. And I appreciate what Hotep said about the US dollar, because people need to be getting involved in crypto, not so they can get more US dollars, but to get away from the US dollar.
So what he's basically saying there, Jeff, is that if you are holding XRP and it does increase in value and it does get wrapped up and settled, it's a way for you to acquire more Bitcoin. You see how that works? It's like not US dollars though. You don't want US dollars. You don't want XRP, and you just want to gain.
You just want the Bitcoin.
Exactly. And it's kind of like what he's basically saying right there is like, okay, Ben, I'll concede that you've made yourself the self-anointed head of the XRP army. I will concede that. And all this XRP that you've been acquiring, okay, so I see that move. Good move for Ripple and XRP holders, because you'll be able to acquire more Bitcoin. There you go.
Got to get the Bitcoin. Frank XRP, the I told you so celebration is taking too long. Right, just pay up and let's move TF on. XRP goes up $1, they make 50 billion. So just settle.
There you go. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple right there. But Armstrong must hold a crap ton though. He must have bought.
He must be sitting on a nice huge bag. But think about that though. What Frank's meant, bringing up, as XRP goes up, that everything that's sitting there in escrow, the value of that escrow just grows to such it's unreal. It's sitting on whatever they have now. What do they have? Maybe 52 point or 51, billion sitting over there. Not sure exactly what the number is at this point, but it goes to $1. They're nice. Goes to 2, goes to 3. Imagine that feeling in late 2017, beginning of 18, when it was over $3. Imagine that jubilation that they must have felt.
Just major excitement, everything else. Imagine the person that bought it on 365. So there you go. There's always that too.
Right.
So Barry Silbert, I thought this was somewhat interesting. I thought we should mini workshop this little tweet right here, but he's obviously has done very well. He has his fingers in almost every exchange, investments in pretty much anywhere. The parent company, the Digital Currency Group, they're the parent of Grayscale, Genesis Trading, CoinDesk, which we read so many articles on, Trade Block, Foundry Services, Luna Global, investor in 180 basically blockchain type companies. Just a lot going on there, right? So he put this tweet out. I want to get your thoughts on this, Jeff. His tweet basically said, here's a public service announcement. The fragmentation of the NFT secondary market away from OpenSea will be terrible for the NFT market and prices. What do you think about that?
It's interesting to digest here. Let's see. What exactly, Chip? Putting me up solo and I can't see what the whole comment was. You just took down everything. But no, this idea of moving the I don't know. I don't even know what to think about this, Chip. What is it going to have a detrimental impact on the NFT market because you're going to move away from Ethereum? Or is it going to benefit the market? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. It doesn't really make a lot of sense here. So the fragmentation of the NFT secondary market away from OpenSea will be terrible for the market on OpenSea potentially. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But really, is it? Right now maybe it's kind of like a, it's the only well, I would say the only, but it's the main purveyor of NFTs over there. So if that's where you're gonna get most of your NFTs, OpenSea benefiting the most. Now as you start building competition though, why would you why would you think that the NFT market is going to tank at that point? Because now you have more venues to bring NFTs to, and I think it's going to be good for the NFT space. We're going
Well,
to find more use cases away from Ethereum, and figure out how the NFT space, where its position in reality really is. It's not just about JPEGs,
no, but
and art. There's
well,
so much more to it.
right. But I mean, as far as OpenSea is they've got something like 79 or 80% of market share, but he's kind of talking about the secondary market here. He's not talking about the first sale. He's talking about the secondary market. It's the way I read it. Maybe I'm missing something, but the secondary
Well,
market is when you
the fragmentation of it, though. How do you get a fragmentation of the secondary market?
well, because if the value, like for example, Bored Apes Yacht Club, or the Punks, or any one of the big, well-known that are trading in the billions of dollars. I mean, a lot of those were secondary market sales, where the initial one you might only paid 100,000 for, but then you sold it on the secondary market for $6 or $7 million. His point is that as you move away from there will be fragmentation in the marketplace, because now you're going to have. But just like anything, I mean, there was in the beginning, there were a few exchanges that you didn't do much on them. You could buy a couple of tokens, and that was pretty much it. If you look at Coinbase in the beginning, it's not really grown that much. There's not too many more tokens now than there were 8 years ago or 7 years ago when it came out.
So then his idea in this scenario then is, if these NFTs that are sold in the secondary market aren't sold on OpenSea, then they're sold off of other platforms. That is somehow going to tank the market. I mean, I'm still not getting it though.
Well,
so let's say we set up OpenSea number 2. Let's say we close C. So now we open close C over on our other platform, and we're only going to deal with the secondary market.
You know the way I pronounce that, Jeff? OpenSea.
Open.
I can resist. C. OpenSea.
OpenSea.
See? So I'm saying C. OpenSea.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
See? I'm gonna start that whole thing again, but I couldn't resist. See?
Yeah, OpenSea.
That's what it is. It's not closed. See, it's OpenSea.
It's OpenSea.
So there you go. So he's going on saying it'd be terrible for the NFT.
We handle the secondary market over on the OpenSea.
But here's a thoughtful response. Looks rare. He says, "Hey Barry, it's all good. We're bucking the status quo here." And then this obviously looks rare is an NFT marketplace. So they chime in. It's all good. We're bucking the status quo here. And a bit of pushback is expected here on the ground, even though the market is fragmenting. The NFT community is stronger and more united than ever. Much love. And don't forget to claim and stake your looks. And then Barry chimed in and said, well, I'm not pushing back on you or any of the other NFT marketplaces that have launched or are launching. Yep. I'm completely indifferent as to who wins. Good luck. I hope you kick ass.
But what is that? How does he have that statement off? The other statement previously was all about the fact that it's somehow going to be bad for the NFT space in general. So now he said he's not really trying to attack or push back on the marketplace. He's saying he's indifferent to who wins. Who's going to win? I don't think there's going to be a marketplace that's going to win necessarily.
Exactly.
Marketplaces.
Well,
potentially. Is he thinking it's more like an Amazon or an eBay type scenario or is it going to be
hard to know, Jeff?
What would be a clear example?
Well, if he's indifferent to anything, I would say he's indifferent to using the first letter as a capitalized as in a sentence, because he's probably using his mobile. But he's not pushing back. He's not saying anything bad about the exchanges.
Well,
he's just saying
too hard to use capitals for NFT.
NFT he went all in on. That's that's 2 clicks, and
all in
all in NFT, because that looks weird if it's lowercase. I hope you kick ass. What a coincidence! Sparkles NFT is launching today. I've been waiting for this month for days, and Sparkles is something we've been looking forward to, Jeff.
Now let's look at
for some long time too.
Sparkles on the XRP ledger.
Sparkles. It's Sparkles. Yeah, that's the Discord. I don't want the Discord. Come on.
No.
Where is their website? Oh, there it is.
See the Sparkles. See.
Yeah, that's their Telegram. Where's their? Did it launch or not?
Exist. It doesn't exist. It's all been it's been all in your mind.
I don't know. I don't see it launching. Did it launch? I don't see that it launched.
You go up to the top. Shouldn't they have a link for their website?
No, they've got their Discord and they've got their
Sparkles.
Their Telegram.
Sparkles.io.
Let's see. Is that what it is?
It is
NFT. Let's see what comes up.
not. Maybe it is.
Sparkles
Which
NFT. Look at that right there. It
design?
is.
No, this is not it.
Is that
What
it?
did you get? Whatever whatever sparkles I got is not it. It's in Dutch.
You're using a platform of the Songbird Canary Network. Please wear
Is that it?
associated
Oh, you
words.
got it.
Yeah, that's it.
What's the website?
It's on sparklesnft.com.
Ah, that makes a lot more sense.
It does. It really does. But this is actually on the Songbird Canary.
I got it. So this isn't it.
So there's the Peppies right there.
Apparently, Chip.
No, it's not
That's
it.
not
That's
it.
that's
No.
the Dutch site. No.
That's sparkles.io.
Yeah, that's not it.
No, they lost the IO. That sucks. But I guess that's why they went with the sparklesnft.com.
A buddy of mine flipped on the from OpenSea. He flipped
over on
a
Sparkles.
a rare Satoshi Nakamoto Peppy, which was the rarest one. There's only one of them.
Nice.
And flipped it and made $500,000. So there you go. So I don't know if this part of the thing too is like, so I kind of get the other thing where he's coming from is like, there's like, which one's the real Pepe, right? So the Pepe that was on the other network, now you've got Mr. SGB Whales, not to be confused with Mrs. SGB Whales. It's just
the space might be a little bit confusing. I get that point. Is that legit? How many people? What's the how many users are going to be over there on that platform? But it does get back to like the exchanges, like you were saying, Coinbase, and then there's Bitrue, and then there's Uphold. If there's more of the trading exchanges, so Binance, Bitrue, Coinbase Pro, some of the many of the others, I guess Bitstamp fell in that category. Uphold not so much because you're just buying it at market value. But where do you go? Where are they going to have more liquidity? Is there going to be a difference in price point? You remember, for a long time, and probably still, at this point, people are able to arbitrage their assets from one exchange to the other. If you're able to, line that up and make money just moving assets from, an exchange to exchange, potentially. But some
so he
people
does clarify
on that. So.
And Joshua Randall says, why though? Competition would usually be good, right? To drive OpenSea to improve. These are honest questions for anyone willing to answer. So Barry Silbert said, competition and decentralization is fantastic, but in markets, fragmentation is bad for liquidity and price discovery, especially for something one of a kind like NFTs. And no, we don't have a stake in OpenSea.
That's interesting too. So he's saying there's going to be interesting, negative impact because of for liquidity, and price discovery makes sense if you're starting to move these all over the place. Now all the exchanges, you just, like you said, which one is the original? How do you get it? Tracking it down, where's it going to be sold? I don't know. I'm trying to, tread through this. I think his point is at the early stages where we're at now versus, maybe a year from now when NFTs are everywhere you look is NFT this and NFT that, and there's NFT marketplaces all over the place. But then maybe some of these NFT markets are going to specialize in a specific NFT. So it's like going into an art store. Or you go into these art stores and maybe one specializes in acrylic art, or they're not necessarily whatever. You get it. You get the drift.
You get the drift, yo. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, yeah. But he might be right though. There might be some fragmentation, but there's always going to be. And what's going to who's going to decide? Basically, the market's going to decide. It's going to say like, hey. You can't say, well, I'm the one who's going to be the one, or you're going to have some centralized entity saying this is the exchange you have to use, because centralization is bad, but let the market pick the winner. The best ones will rise, the ones that get some adoption. And when you start out with 70 or 80% market share, you might lose some market share, but you're still the mainstay, right? I mean, it's like you're not going away. I don't think it's really. We'll have to wait and see, Jeff. Let's put it that way. And I want to put this up.
Oh, hey, before you put that up, let me Let me bring this up real quick because this kind of brings us to a completely funny space since we're talking about NFTs. Kind
Let's
of
do
a
it.
perfect time for it. So we got the
Oh,
so
jeez.
so Chip, again, I want to get your feelings on this. Now, so this crypto group has been shamed. They spent $3 million on a Dune book, mistakenly believing that they had somehow acquired the copyright to produce NFTs off of the Dune book. So this group that was formed called SpiceDAO planned to sell NFTs based on the contents of the book, which details Alejandro Jodorowsky's ambitious but failed adaptation of Frank Herbert's sci-fi novel. So, Chip, if we look at this and we say, okay, so these guys set up this DAO, and they decide that they're going to spend $3 million at auction to get this book. And so it goes up for sale. The value of this book was between 25,000 to 35,000 euro. And they decided they would spend 2.6 million euro, or about $3 million with fees, by this anonymous group identified as SpiceDAO. So now the members mistakenly believed that that the purchase granted them the copyright to the book. Now the book's on auction, not the copyright. So they were planning on taking this book, they were going to splice it up, sell the NFTs, and then and they were then going to burn the physical copy of supposedly the last remaining book, I guess they thought. And so their goal here is to issue a collection of NFTs that are technically innovative and culturally disruptive, a first of its kind, and that burning the book would be an incredible marketing stunt, which would be recorded on video, and the video would be sold in as an NFT. So as they get into it, they find out that, so here they are, they put out the tweet, they bought the book, they're super excited. Now they're going to do all this stuff, what their plans are, they want to make it public, do all this, they're going to produce an original animated limited series inspired by the book, and then they, all these different things, right? So, however, there had to be this however in this. The internet was quick to point out that the book was already available to view online for free. And the purchase does not grant them the rights to produce works based on its contents. An NFT series, for example, would likely be met with a lawsuit from the actual copyright holders, currently the Herbert Limited Partnership. And around 10 copies of the book, where he compiled the concept and notes, are believed to exist. So it wasn't one of a kind. There were 10, potentially 9 or 10 others. The copyright is held by this other group called Herbert Limited Partnership, and they spent $3 million on a 25,000 to 30,000 euro item. Now, someone's saying it's fake news. And now, I don't know, fake,
who knows?
not fake.
I have no
the
idea
whole
if it
thing
is. It could be like
either way,
prank.
it's a hilarious. It could be a prank. It's a hilarious story. Any way you look at it, it's just classic. But E4 Rock is saying fake news, inverted news, actually.
Inverted. Well, the funny part about it was like
the whole thing is just hilarious, though, just as you go through that.
Now, if you remember in Dune, the whole idea of spice was like one of the most rare sort of chemicals, like a drug, a psychotropic drug. It created like alertness, and it was cherished, right? So it was really super rare. So the whole idea of naming it SpiceDAO adds a little extra. Even kind of makes me think, is it even real? But yeah, I guess we don't know. I don't know if it's real or not. But Bones TEP says, "Hey guys, I don't catch many live streams, but enjoy the replays of the show. Thanks for doing awesome coverage of the space for all of us." Well, Bones, thank you.
What's up, Bones?
What does TEP stand for? You got to let us know what that stands for. But thank you, Bones. Appreciate that. Glad. Where are you from, by the way? Or you don't catch the live streams? Just curious. Probably very late. He just happens to be up. Wakes up in the middle of the night.
Oscar was saying it's mind-boggling that anyone would make this mistake.
That's why
I can't wrap my mind around it. must have been a gang of 13-year-olds.
Could have been.
It could have been, and you can't wrap your mind around it, but they can wrap their DAO around it. They're gonna have the wrapped spice DAO.
And that's why it seems a little bit on the not so. So this story right here, we talked about Jake Chervinsky the other day, and crypto Twitter is down bad, trying to legitimize the word Ponzi. And then we put this cartoon. You're not wrong. The dictionary is wrong. You're not wrong. So we talked about this before, about the whole idea of Ponzi scheme, that people like, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme. So there's a whole little dialect. So Jake Chervinsky says, for what it's worth, I have way more respect for people who just think it's a funny word and don't care about its meaning than people who hopelessly try to mount a semantic defense of it as accurate descriptor for any time investors profit from later investors, virtually all investments. Making a strong point there, Jeff. Freddie Reynolds says, do you agree with this definition? 1, promises of a specific return and or floor redemption value. 2, requires new investors to fulfill the promises made in number 1. And 3, misleads investors about number 2. Jake says, yeah, that's pretty close. Classically, your 3 would require not just hiding the need for new investors, but to fulfill 1, also a specific falsehood about how 1 will be achieved. E.g., we have an automated training bot. An important distinction because fraud requires intent. See that, Jeff? Speaking of fraud, I agree that classically an additional specific falsehood is typical because historically courting investors was more complicated, in-person meetings, conferences, pitch decks, etc. But I think that if the operators simply claim they're not Ponzi, that may be enough. Yeah, we're not Ponzi. Okay, that sounds good to me.
Move on.
We're not Ponzi. Okay.
That's it.
So, and where did I see there was a, this is the thing. Holy cow. David Schwartz did, what is this?
Schwartz.
Schwartz was in here with a comment, but I don't know if it took it. I'll have to see if I can find it, but where Schwartz's comment was in this whole thing.
Well, you look that one up, and I've got some good stuff here to take a little bit of a side venture over to Johnny Deaton. So I like this tweet. I love, he keeps coming up tweet after tweet, really spot on. That's kind of where I took this idea of this, all those XRP haters out there. But, the one thing he said here in this tweet, what I've learned throughout the litigation and during the last year is that XRP haters are more concerned and focused on Ripple than most XRP holders. There's no doubt a lot of XRP holders are fans of Ripple, but XRP holders are way more focused on Ripple's efforts than holders are. And I think that's kind of spot on. The haters are going to keep hating, and they're going to try to look for every flaw and point out every flaw based on their flaws. And then those that are investing in XRP are like, hey, we got XRP. This is awesome. And just as we're talking about earlier, why is it that everybody else, throughout the other alt projects are just, blowing up, and XRP sitting at 75 cents, 74 cents, 76 cents. But the XRP haters out there are just so quick to point all of that out, and it's just spot on. I think, what are your thoughts about Deaton's point there?
No, I think it's really spot on. But, look, I think it's human characteristics, right? I think people tend to pool to certain sort of things, and, history proves it wrong. And then all of a sudden, we see that happening a lot now with current day events, is that the crowd all runs this way. Not everybody runs that way. Then everybody starts filing back, and then they start running back. So it's just human nature, a lot of this. And I don't think it's any different whether you're dealing with crypto or, the stock market or anything else. I think it's sort of all part of the same thing. More or less. I don't say 100%, but.
Hey, Chip, interesting factoid.
Well, bring it on, Jeff. What is it?
If not for trees loving carbon to grow more solar collector branches, roots, and leaves, there would be no paper money. CO2 equals carbon equals fiat.
Good point. That is a fun factoid right there.
That's
very fun factoid. I didn't consider that, but that does make a lot of sense. And This one here from Willy Wonka. It's 2022. And what is he talking about exactly? Well, let's listen in. This is Vitalik Buterin. And let's
Ethereum.
So this is Vitalik Buterin, and Willy Wonka is pointing out that it's 2022. Let's listen what he says here.
Probably almost certainly going to release Ethereum 2.0 sometime around 2016 or so. We are probably almost certainly going to release Ethereum 2.0 sometime around 2016 or so.
2016 or so, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. 6 years. And we just heard the other day that they're still probably not even, he doesn't know how long it's going to take. They're not releasing
it. It's right around the corner, Chip. It's right around the corner. Anytime
they're not releasing between any period.
2016 and
not happening.
Maybe never.
I have no doubt.
Reggie, shout out to all XRP lovers.
Hey, Reg. Big time shout out. And of course, since we're on the Vitalik Buterin train.
Do you have his rep? Put that up there.
No, we can't suffer through that one more time, Jeff. There's only so many days, you got to give it like a break. You can't do it all the time because it just gets to be too much. But look at this one right here. Look at this tweet here. This is digital asset investors like, hey, Vitalik, if you're truly decentralized, then why never reveal the purchasers of ETH in the pre-sale? Joe Lubin was advising people on how they could disguise whale purchasers. Who were the whales, Vitalik? We aren't going away. Remember, he said that in one of these he's given one of these speeches. He's like, yeah, what you can do is you can just create a Gmail account and you can create several of them. That way you can buy more tokens. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that was basically it.
That was basically
that was the gist of it all. But look, let's listen in here.
Why did you want Ethereum to be a nonprofit, and how did you come to that decision?
It was just very important to me that this is a technology that decentralized infrastructure that's meant to be not controlled and not owned by anyone. And it's a platform that's for the world. And so for that platform to be connected to a company that had a very small number of shareholders, I think is something that could really centralize the ecosystem, and so something that I thought would be very unhealthy and wanted to really avoid.
Now, why did you want?
Yeah, so why does it look like she's like in the present and he's like 6 years in the past? Maybe because Ethereum 2.0 is not ready, Jeff. But really, I mean, it's funny, right? I mean, look at this.
Funny. It's funny. I think about this, Chip. When you see actors, for instance, right? When they're in the public eye, you see them when they first start acting for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
They're typically really, really thin in, maybe not in shape, but really, really thin, kind of sickly. Then they get successful. Then they're in shape. Then they're overweight, right? And then at some point they get onto the fad workouts and diets and they get back in shape again. But you want to focus on that beginning stage. You look at Vitalik and his beginning stage, he's thin, but he looks healthy. But the more successful he gets, the thinner he gets, and the more unhealthy he looks. It's like the exact opposite of, everybody else. They normally keep getting heavier and heavier.
That's right. And when you have you're worth over $1 billion+ and you can hire a trainer, you could figure some stuff out. Just don't. That's not for everybody, Jeff. It's depends on who you are. You might want something like that. I don't know. Maybe you don't care. And that's the one thing I like about the guy is he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. Just.
And you see Jeff Bezos lately? That guy, man, got a trainer. He's
been getting ripped. Yeah, he's been getting ripped. But what does he have to do with this day, though? It's
he's working out. He's on testosterone. He's kind of balancing everything out. Guy's doing well. I don't know if he is. I'm just.
I hear he's done pretty. I hear he's done pretty well, though. I mean, based on what I've seen, Jeff, he's done pretty well. So
he's done pretty good. Pretty good with that with that used book selling online, Chip.
If that's the real thing, though, we got to get some more. We have to get some more on that. I'm not 100% sure that's it right here. So here's another Deaton tweet that I wanted to feature up here, Jeff, and let's just throw this out there.
That one out there.
There we go. So Robert at Robert 15504839 says, as an Australian, I'm ready to fight to the death with a fire hose on a microphone. Okay, so that said, he's ready to fight to the death. And then Crypto Investor says, we have real, actual problems in this country, one that are a matter of life and death to hundreds of thousands. And yet, here we have the SEC holding up progression and change because of whether or not something is a security. They are a biggest waste of time, government and government resources. Ian Fish says the SEC stopping investment scammers, which is what security regulations do, saves the American taxpayer untold billions of dollars. Uh-oh. I see some fisticuffs starting here, Jeff. Moneybags, not Bob, from the OG community says, OTC OG community, you haven't studied the case. Retail holders of XRP are not scammers. SEC cost us $15 billion. The SEC is not protecting investors, protecting Wall Street. Study the case. The SEC is corrupt. Of course, Ian Fish comes back in and says, so the SEC should never enforce any security laws at all. In almost every case, the illegal securities themselves are going to lose value when the issuer is charged with violating the law. So what exactly is the SEC supposed to do? Is this Gary Gensler's nephew? I mean, my God, is that? Let's see who this guy is.
It is.
He creator of Road Redemption, PC. So he's an Xbox, PlayStation.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting, right? You kind of get.
Well, he's got a lot of followers.
Yeah, a lot of followers. Tells you a lot about. So 800. He developed the game. 800 followers.
So what's the game that he made? Not Red Dead.
It's Road Redemption.
Never heard of it.
Coder of video games and real money games, but none you would actually mention.
Road Redemption.
I don't know what Road Redemption is, Jeff. Go ahead and Google it.
I'm looking it up here.
So Crypto Investor comes back in. I'm not saying not to do their job. What I'm saying, though, is that once you realize that the fruit of your lawsuit tree is poisonous, it's better to abandon it and move on to a different one. Ripple will win because they are right. Ian Fish comes in and says, well, I believe Ripple is clearly in the wrong, and the SEC was right to pursue them. Should they also have pursued the issuers of Ethereum? Maybe. So unless you assume Ripple didn't violate securities laws, then I'm not sure what the SEC is supposed to do about XRP holders. This is like, well, they did something wrong. Okay, what did they do wrong? Oh, they sold securities. Well, why is it a security? Like that never comes up in the conversation. It never comes up in his rebuttal. It's just that they did something wrong and they're supposed to defend it.
That's it. Well, yeah, exactly. And that's where's this guy? It's kind of funny. I mean, it's like, what is this guy?
Got the blinders on, Jeff. Look at that.
That's exactly
2 smartphones. A horse with 2 smartphones strapped to the eyes.
Oh my God. Well, let's look at his video game. So here's his very cool video game.
Looks good. 9 out of 10.
It looks pretty sweet. It's kind of like trying to think, there was a game like this back in the day where you'd race motorcycles.
Roast marshmallows
and then you
on Gary Gensler's head.
You'd roast marshmallows with Daddy G, and you have your little bat there, or your mace, or whatever that is, and you're batting away at the kicking. This was a game before where you'd kick the other motorcycle driver and hit him with a bat. And they just updated it and made it look a little nicer. Very cool.
Right.
But that's it. I don't. Road Rash. See, I knew there was someone out there that knew what it was. Road Rash.
That's what it was. Road Rash.
So Road Redemption is basically an updated version of Road Rash.
There you go.
Road Rash was awesome.
This is kind of weird.
Crazy Taxi. There's another one. Look at that.
The Crazy Taxi
was awesome too. You remember that game?
I do.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dreamcast.
Man.
Yeah, my buddy had that. Look at this. So I went. You know how you're looking through the thread, but you went too far, and I found this tweet, and this one made me think, what the hell is going on, Jeff? So look at this one right here. It's like, I firmly believe, this is Carter Hambley. He says, I firmly believe that if you gave me a suit of armor, I could convince Joe Rogan he's traveled back in time in under 60 seconds. What the hell does that even mean, Jeff?
Who the heck is that?
This is if you gave me a calendar that said 400, I'd do it in 30. I have no idea what some people. I don't know.
Who is he?
I have no idea. I don't know who he is.
Hover on his name.
He's a writer.
Ah,
Root beer. Writer root beer boy.
wonderful. What a
He has 108,000 followers, Jeff. That's more than the guy that did Road Rash or whatever the hell the name of the game was called.
He had 800. Yeah, that's
Yeah, see.
what like what it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, people went off on Joe Rogan. That guy. Yeah, I think he gets more views than CNN gets.
Well, all three of the networks put together, almost all mainstream media, he's like he crushes them, destroys them, obliterates them.
That's it. Destroyed.
Anyway, I wanted to get into this Deaton tweet. I don't know if we have time now, but
We got plenty of time.
all right, let's do it. He says,
Time's up.
So he commented on Ian Fish. Well, I believe the Ripple's clearly in the wrong, and blah blah blah. So Deaton says, well, many people like Ian believe Ripple violated security laws and should be sued by the SEC accordingly. Some believe that just because Ether investors violated the law doesn't excuse Ripple from its wrongdoing. Regardless of whether you agree, this is not an unreasonable stance. And then what is unreasonable is the SEC abandoning all truth and law, arguing absurdly the very nature of XRP in the market and the nature of XRP itself. Make all XRP securities. Note the quotations. The language is directly from the complaint filed against Ripple and XRP. Some people don't know or refuse to accept that the SEC could have easily sued Ripple, Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson to enforce securities laws without devastating XRP holders and making a complete mockery of 76 years of legal precedent while destroying the SEC's credibility. And that's the boom point right there, because could have came out and said, we're looking back at this time. We're not saying today's XRP, but no, they went all in saying the nature of XRP itself, the very nature of the XRP in the market, make all XRP securities. And that's where they went off the deep end. He said all the SEC had to do was charge Ripple and its executives in the same manner it's done previously in similar cases. Actually, considering no fraud has been alleged, had the SEC treated this case similar to other cases, the two executives would have been charged. It's very uncommon to charge individual executives in non-fraud cases. Regardless, SEC usually alleges that a specific offer and sale on a specific date constituted an unregistered securities offering. Instead, the SEC claims XRP itself is an unregistered security, all XRP. The SEC argues the XRP traded, even in the secondary market, is the embodiment of those facts, circumstances, promises, expectations, and today represents that of an investment contract. In March of 2021, Judge Netburn recognized this overreaching assertion. She advised the SEC under its theory of every single person in the world that sells XRPs violating the law. The judge herself recognized that the SEC claims implicated the global retail holders of XRP, all of us collectively here. And yeah, it's a lot of stuff, but that's pretty much it, Jeff.
Did Ian respond back, or did he not even respond back after all that?
I don't know if he did. It goes on for a while. We might be able to get the rest of it. It's a long thread. Holy cow. It's like a long thread. But EC 2189 says the mainstream media has Bill Gates playing God of medicine and a high emperor doctor, but they go off on Rogan or anybody else that isn't qualified spreading disinfo. Isn't that something?
That's exactly right. That's exactly it.
And Praxis Media Group says, great stuff. Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys coming in here every night, except for Friday, because I'll do it on Fridays and Saturday mornings. But Jeff, you want to get the streaming schedule, we can get out of here.
When is it? When do we stream, Chip?
I'm not exactly sure.
Do we stream? Do we have a website? We even have a website. If you go to onthechain.io, go check it out. We stream 6. Hear that? 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday. Six, Chip.
6 days a week.
6, eh? 6 Sunday through Thursday. Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guess what? We have another channel, and we've been dropping videos. When do we stream? That's funny. I'm looking at we have on the other channel. If you go check out the other channel, there might even be a link to the other channel somewhere in there. That other link, you go to On the Chain. just on the chain. It's on the chain live where you're now. The other one's on the chain, and you'll see all these cool short clips from the videos. And if you don't have a chance to watch the whole thing, or there's something you want to go back and watch, we might have pulled that out and posted it over on the other channel. Look how cool that is.
I'm dropping this on right now, guys. Click that link. Go subscribe.
Drop it. Go subscribe to the other channel. That'll help out.
3 times as many subscribers on this channel that has even less subscribers, which only has like 7,500 subscribers than we have on this channel in the last week.
We picked up a lot of good subs yesterday on both. But check it out. You can see that there's short clips. What are they, like 8 minutes long, the 12 minutes long?
You can see like 200 views. This one had 1,100 views. 300 views. That's why we need your help, guys.
We need little by little. It's got to get there. Got to get the messaging out. So that's what's really key. But what's most important is that we by far have the smartest, the best, and the brightest in all of crypto YouTube space, which is very cool. Very cool. Appreciate all you guys. Appreciate the support that you guys gave. And also a big shout out to Hands Loaded for helping support during the live stream, and then also helping to produce those shorter clips, which is really outstanding.
Yeah, really great stuff. And look, subscribe. Let's help us grow that channel, because you may not catch the show. Hans pulls out the best bits, whatever the bit was from that show, and you get to watch it. Get in and out in 8 to 12 minutes. Sometimes they're 20 minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
Very easily.
That's all we have, Jeff. And guys, we'll see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.